Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Planet of the Apes retrospective. Remember that when the first time you see the
Sounded like
ape?
Mando. It reminded me of
Oh,
Mando.
I was. Yeah, no, I was wrong. Dude, that's the wrong sound effect. The Planet of the Apes was like, and it's Taylor running. Go back. Planet of the Apes. Let's just talk about Planet of the Apes 1 again. Great movie. But here we are for the third retrospective of the Planet of the Apes. Of course, we are getting ready for the fucking mouthful of a title, The Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. They got these franchises had it right. Escape from Planet of the Apes. They always had like the first two words or first few words made sense, but now we're in the dawn of the kingdom of. Like, we gotta get rid of this of. It's too much.
They blew their load early, right? Like they used
Yeah.
all the ideal titles in the early days, and then now they have to add on to it, and it's a mouthful.
Do you think we live in both worlds, right? Or let's say we do live in both worlds where they're playing Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, or if it's Planet of the Apes Kingdom. Do you think one does any better or worse in the box office? Because I sure don't. And I just think if you just call it Planet of the Apes Kingdom, that's done. It's fine.
I think you got to do Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
No.
You probably have to have apes in the title. Actually, I was with you, and then Taylor just swayed.
I
me.
still had apes in the title, though, in my title, Kirk.
What was it again? Kingdom Apes.
Planet of the Apes Kingdom. Done.
Planet of the Apes Kingdom. People
Yeah.
think, oh, is this some National Geographic show or something like that?
That could be.
Planet
of the
of the
Apes still
Apes.
has that.
Kingdom. Yeah. Okay. I guess you won me over again.
It's just a mouthful. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
I just don't like long titles. You know, the emancipation of one great Harley Quinn.
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever
like
it's
as a
called.
podcaster, like at the fourth wall, or break the third wall. Is it fourth wall or third?
Break
It's
the fourth wall.
Yeah, it fucks with
Break
the
all the walls if you
SEO.
want.
Yeah, it fucks with the SEO big time. It's tough for those podcasts to always sometimes do well because like, what are people searching? They're just searching Planet of the Apes. They're searching Kingdom. They're searching Planet of the Apes 8. I don't know, but anyways, whatever. I'm joined by.
I am the painter painting the painting of the painter, Kirk Lepatzer.
Fuck.
I'm the Sacred Scroll Taylor Field.
I didn't even do myself. I'm the damn dirty human, Travis Snell. And yes, we're here because Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming out in May. When you're listening to Patreon, you'll probably get these a little more earlier now because they moved up 3 weeks. So our schedule recording
Travis
these.
was pissed. about that.
I had it perfectly planned, but like this week, I know Clay, he's been right away watching and listening Patreon. Clay, you're getting this, and then you're getting like Conquest like a day or two after. So patrons, you're getting these Apes things nice and fast. That's why if you're listening first time, I love Apes. I would love to get all these right now, ad free. Head over to Patreon, dude. That's the $2. That's the phase 2 tier, not the $2 tier, where that doesn't exist for us. You get that ad free, early exclusive. We're doing Planet of the Apes right now. We're also doing Mad Max, and then we'll be doing Alien. You can get the X-Men retrospective over there, everything ad free as well. So lots of good retrospectives happening. You can tune in because soon we'll be doing an After 9, which I guess I won't promote because it'll be past point. But if you wanted to go do a commentary track with us, we're doing a movie night for Madam Web. The fans are going to vote on which Spider-Man movie we watch, and I can't fucking wait to see how that panned out. But yes, lots of good stuff. A big shout out to our Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Jack Grant, Muds, and Samu. We will soon at this point, Golden Geeks is probably happening, and you'll have other stuff to vote on, other retros and ones off and everything. So yeah, it's a good time to head over there. And if you like stuff like the retrospectives, Travis Told You, side quests, or bonus newscasts, we need your support, whether it's the ad revenue on the podcast feed or here specifically, because ad revenue can fluctuate between months. Patreon is literally the best way to support. So if you want more content, when I get the surveys, go, why didn't you guys review Kills the Flower Moon? That's a big thing. We need more content and more subscribers to produce more shows. So we would appreciate you doing that, and you get a lot of bevy of a lot of good things.
A lot of bevies.
A lot of bevies. Give me a bevy, Mr. Patzer. What did you think? So we're here in the third one. For people, if you don't know, this is Zira and Cornelius and fucking Milo.
Right? Dr. Xylo.
His name's Milo.
Is it Milo?
That's why they named the baby Milo. Why did you think they named the baby Milo? If you thought his name was Xylo.
I thought it was just a cute name. I honestly
That's a
didn't.
cute
I
name,
totally forgot about
He
that
dies
guy's
so
name.
quick,
He dies so
so, I
early.
mean,
Yeah.
Here you go. There's a reason. So a trivia note to come in. So he was an actor. Very sad story. He a few years later got murdered, and he was only 36. So really sad. I don't think it was anything like mischievous. Just like a wrong place, wrong time. So like, Kirkland, what are you
I
doing?
know.
Laughing?
I shouldn't even.
Like,
Was the guy wearing a gorilla costume?
Oh God.
I hated that movie. No, like shut up. So he took this movie because he like Ryan McDowell. Because after Ryan McDowell did Planet of the Apes for Cornelius, his career took a big spike up. Like everyone's like, "Oh, who's playing Cornelius?" He wanted the same thing to happen, but I guess when he got the role, he hated the fucking makeup. So they took the script and shortened his character down. That's why he just got killed off so quickly because he took the makeup. He's like, "I fucking hate this. Get me out of this." And like, hey, we're just
He wasn't in the previous one. Like you didn't have the makeup.
not
on
this
there?
actor, I don't think. Maybe
okay.
Milo was, but it wasn't played by this actor. So, which is so odd to think. Like, I guess it can happen, but just so odd to think that you playing a monkey makeup character can make you like have
And,
a
like,
big.
did he
blow
not
up,
read the
but-
script? Like, did he not know he was going to be in costume the whole time?
Well, he did, but he didn't until he didn't have the costume on. Right? It's a different thing when you read it, and then he's probably there's been 2 movies, so he's probably like, oh, it's not that bad. And then when you get in there, I would love for a day to be put in that just to see what it felt like. Oh fuck! One day when we do the puppet cast, patrons, get us enough money so we can pay a makeup person. We will all be in full classic Planet of the Apes guard and do a full newscast.
terrifying.
That would be fucking awesome. We'd just be fucking sweating bullets. But I would love to see. But yeah, so fortunate for that actor. Yeah, he didn't have a long life, but yeah, he was out of this because it just the makeup was too much for him. He just said, I want out, and they said,
I
okay.
guess it's like a Hugo Weaving thing, right? He didn't want to be in the Red Skull.
Yeah,
garb.
he fucking hated that Red Skull thing. I always would have loved if he heard about Infinity War Endgame and like just that there's CGI dots now. Because after Endgame, he was all like, oh, I'd love to come back. I'd love to do it again. And they're like, yeah, fuck you, buddy. You left us, but not like we got any more Red Skull. But we're here to talk about Planet of the Apes. So this is one where they all escape. Somehow we'll get to they escape Planet of the Apes. But did they really escape? Who knows? We'll talk about it. Kirk and Patzer, I think we've talked about this before, but it's tough. The retros are further apart. But like, did you have any knowledge of this? Have you seen this one before? So any past stuff, and then your current day thoughts.
I think I have seen this before, just because, like, on that first retro that we did, I was kind of talking about my history with it, and like I had that VHS collection pack that I'm assuming because this is so close to that original,
Yeah.
it was in that pack, and
I think for sure 4 were, maybe 5 because they were pretty close together. So
yeah, so I'm sure I've seen it, but like I feel like there's scenes in here that I just assumed were like spliced into different parts of the movies or something like that. So it was a very fresh viewing. There was just a lot of scenes that I didn't really know how it was gonna go, and I didn't know how the movie was gonna end. I was going to say spoiler. I was going to say spoiler alert. I thought they were going to escape this planet and just go somewhere else because of the title, but that didn't really happen.
No.
But overall,
spoilers for the whole movie if you haven't seen it. So
I found it interesting. Definitely a step up from the previous movie. I just really didn't like Beneath. Just a lot of stuff in that movie was not great. Here, it's almost like a parallel to like what the first one is, where you have obviously Taylor and crew land on the planet of the apes, whereas you have these ape folk landing on Earth. I was very confused at the beginning on just what the fuck was going on, because I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Like they must have gone back in time, and then like 2 minutes later they explain exactly what happens. Like somehow we just went back to Earth at this era.
you're like my kids. Why is this happening? Just watch the movie. Oh, just tell me, Dad. Just watch the movie.
So like, yeah, I feel like right away I'm like, this sucks. I'm not gonna like this. They're totally retconning what happened before, and then they explain it really, really quickly, and they don't really go into the science about how it works, which I guess is okay. You don't really have to fully explain what part of me happens. But it's definitely a step up from the previous film. It was kind of fun to just see how I guess the human society were treating the apes versus how we saw the apes society treat the humans. Some of like the parallel dialogue of just comparing, especially when the human commissioners or whatever are seeing the apes and like thinking of them as so barbaric because they're treating, humans the way that shouldn't be humans shouldn't be treating each other. And then like you even have I forget the doctor's name, but it basically just making like the same argument. It's like, well, that's what we do with animals here. And we were kind of having those dialogues in the first retro with the first movie, so it was kind of interesting to hear their take on balancing that. And I think there was actually some decisions made by like maybe the government of the humans and just the commissioners, and it seemed fairly reasonable, some of the reaction. Like there is the extreme type characters that are like, we gotta murder these, like they're gonna take over all of human society, and that kind of got a little bit jarring for me. But for the most part, I actually found it interesting the way that the commission and even the president of the United States, like I feel like it's just such a maybe a stereotype, but like I'm so expecting the president to be like, we gotta murder these apes and like, you know, pro America, and we just gotta like pro humans, like we gotta just take these guys out. But the president in this movie, he seemed like such a reasonable individual. Like he seemed like he was very defensive of the ape folk, and just overall, like it seemed like he needed a lot of evidence for the pardon me, the extreme doctor to want to just murder them. So how those
Well,
situations
he says too, like, sorry to interject. He says like, this is a society, like a government that might not even exist in like the year 3000. Like, he's
Yeah.
very nonchalant about it.
Yeah, and like I feel like I appreciated that because it's just different than what I was expecting. Like I was just so expecting, especially like when did this come out? Like late 70s? Oh yeah, early 70s, 1971. There you go. So like I just feel like around like the space race era, like I just expect like the American government type figures in movies to just be like, we are number one. We gotta. It's about us or no one. So that kind of surprised me. There's still some things that happen like later on that I was just kind of eye rolling on, mostly with like our main, I guess, antagonist of the film. But overall, I think this is a nice step up from that previous movie. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of spoiled already, but like tragic end to these characters that we've had since the get go. They kind of went out anticlimactic a little bit, but yeah, I'm excited to dive in with you guys.
And for one just random poor baby ape who had really nothing to do with anything, but
that was so sad. I was waiting for like the coin flip like reveal of like they swapped the baby at the zoo. So like, well, I guess that did happen. Never mind. But like
it's like Taylor or Kirkland, I got a big reveal for you.
I thought they had like a
something
dummy
fake
or something.
dummy,
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was gonna be some sort of clever reaction. It's very sad for that mother ape in the, zoo. Just got her baby swapped out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, and I guess I can go where I think that is the strength of this, because it is the first film flipped, and that's the unfortunate thing where you'll never be as interesting as that, because it's like you're on at that point like we think is a different planet, right? So like we've talked about the whole the build up of Taylor walking around, you know, the scarecrows, what the fuck they call again, Kirkland? What's the longer name? The effigies, you know, in the wilderness, you know, all that stuff. So like there's this big build up and it's monkeys talking, right? Where this is not as exciting because it's Earth. We know what Earth looks like. It's humans talking, it's them coming to us. So that aspect's not as much. There's some weird stuff with like the score is fucking weird in this movie, like the funky like like I get what they're trying to do, but it was not good. It was like, oh, you're on Earth, and this is the era, but it's like we talked about in the first Planet. The score is so good, and this is just like. Just sometimes they're playing like the funky music when dramatic stuff is going on. It's like, get that out of here. So it's not a perfect film. It's not the heights that, but like I have a soft spot for this one and the fourth one. I think they're actually quite good. And I think because it's stuff where like Zira and Cornelius, yes, we love them and they were with Taylor and stuff like that. But they also, like you're saying, Kirk, they bring up like security concerns, you know, like they've done the same things that we've done. It's not good that they've get caught lying multiple times, which is like, it's tough because we know why they're lying, but at the same time, it's like if we were in our world right now, think about what happened to a fucking spaceship land, and then 3 monkeys came out, could talk, and then one of the things they were lying about is how monkeys took over the world. You'd be like there's things where you understand even some of the extremes of even talking about killing them or killing the child, making it sure she couldn't have children. It's like you kind of understand how even our society would definitely jump to that, you know. And even for me, it's like how you might have to question if like this might be the right thing to do, because there are some extremes, but it is tough when the monkeys lay out, hey, we come from the future. In the future, your people go to should we take over, you know. The origin's a little different. It's a little because in the first Apes, it's just explained that the apes have always been in power, and lots of people don't know, but it seems like Zero and Cornelius know everything about these apes like being slaves, and so there's a little bit of mixed muddle things there. Maybe some some scientific studies, they found more stuff, but that's what I like. Just even little stuff where they're talking to the UN or the Senate, whatever, and she goes, "Oh, when we dissect," and then, "Oh, when we looked into humans," and they play that back. But that's where it's just like there is layers to it because Cornelius at one point gets so mad about all the stuff they're doing, and Zero just says it's not anything different than what we've done before. And like they're right, like they were the nicer apes, they were trying to, but they were part of all that stuff of like helping humans be held down, and they were experimenting. So that's where it's like it is a flip that you don't want them to die like Taylor because like there's shades of gray character and we're rooting for them, but it's like it's tough because like they're not like completely innocent apes, but they were trying to be better because they saw the error of their ways. So that's why we're cheering for these characters. So it is sad that like they have this plan, they're gonna get to the zoo and just be undercover for the rest of their lives, and they're so close. They're like 2 days away from achieving this. I don't know why Cornelius is fucking around walking on the boat like he is. Like he's not hiding at all, the poor guy, and we'll get there. But so I do really love the flip, and I think I think it's fortunately or unfortunately, I don't like fortunately for the film, but unfortunately for us, like I don't think these dynamics have changed at all with some of the heights people would jump to. So I think if anything, it's more optimistic because the way where for at least a couple of weeks the apes are accepted and like they're the hot shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that would happen nowadays. I think it would go jump right to we're just gonna fucking execute these things, Or
like just trapped in a lab somewhere. Like
exactly.
we never see the public. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I have some questions too about the time travel stuff, but that doesn't get into like I'm not gonna say, oh, this is wrong. It's just a chicken and an egg scenario because it's just funny where it's kind of positioned where this is supposed to be technically like a prequel of Planet of the Apes, but I'm always like, so what? Taylor comes from a world where they knew, like it's a weird chain of events because they already sent Taylor, but technically Caesar gets born in this era and takes over. So it's a weird, like I said, thing. But no, I really enjoy this film. There's a lot of good ideology things they bring up, and hour and a half, not too long of a runtime. I think they don't overstay their welcome, and I quite enjoy it. I never feel like I get excited to watch this one, and because we only got them as side characters. I like Zero and Cornelia, so it's nice having them as like a lead. I think that helps. If it was just two other monkeys, like maybe, but taking other than what's his name, Charlton Heston, like the most likable characters was a smart thing. Like good thing, like Dr. Zaius or whatever wasn't with him too. Like that would have been like fuck. I know he died in last movie, but if they would have like, oh, we need like even Milo, like I know him getting killed off was a different reason, but it's like I didn't miss him. Like I was fine with the dynamic of Zero and Cornelia. So overall, I quite like the movie. So.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. This is one that I usually always think about when we talk about Planet of the Apes with whoever I talk to.
This is the go-to. Spoil for Taylor's rankings when we do the rankings episode.
Yeah.
Escape, number one.
I just really enjoyed the concept of them salvaging Taylor's ship and then taking parts. I think they took parts from the other guy's ship, and
they never mention him in this movie. Hey, they talk about Taylor a lot. The U.S. doesn't give a remember when Taylor didn't remember him? That's the U.S. government. They never once mentioned. They say two ships, but they never mention that guy. Where Taylor's like fucking top shit. Like, did you know? They don't even talk about the other people that were with Taylor.
Yeah, he must have been.
No, they mentioned there were only two that talk. It's like Zero does mention that.
No, but I'm the U.S. government. I mean, when they're always like, "Oh, Taylor, he left a few years ago." Like it was 2 years ago, but they never like. The woman that was with them, the other people, he must have been like you were saying,
like
a
lot of our women.
I was gonna say,
top shit guy.
He was like The Rock, like he was like this great actor, someone that like everyone just unanimously loved, and then he just like gets sent on a spaceship somewhere, and there's just like Earth's hero is Taylor.
We want all the children to look like him, so we're gonna send him to repopulate. We want him to have that laugh, those teeth, the height, his how big he is. We want
hate of society.
Yeah, we want everyone to be like Taylor. So,
but yeah, this film, I think you guys have said a lot of things spot on, and I liked how it kind of parallels the first film in that regard of being same perspectives, same narrative to a degree, but different perspective. Being from the apes being immersed in here, like, oh my god, they're all talking. I would have really loved this film if they didn't kill Dr. Milo off right away. I would have really appreciated to have his perspective, because the moment when we get them alone and he's talking like, hey, yeah, we need to stay silent, we need to know who our enemies and our friends are, we need to just like approach this differently. I really like that. I liked it a lot. And while I love Cornelius and Zira, I think they're fantastic characters, and seeing them lead this film was great. I definitely can understand why Zira was a problem, because she was saying things she shouldn't have. She was really temperamental, but again, it fits with that character after everything they've been through and have to deal with like the guerrilla war and the humans and all this crazy shit with the orangutans. So it makes sense, but that's definitely Zira was the cause of their downfall.
Yeah,
So-
that's where they'll get more into, but that is one con I have with it, just because like they saw exactly what happened to Taylor. It's just hard for me to believe that Zira still like. You're right that they've set up she has like a bit of a temper at times, but it's like what happened with Taylor. They're on a different planet. Like just for her, so not like I thought they set it up in a perfect way for them to talk, and they just had to have her say the line about bananas, which was odd. Like I thought what they should have done is when Milo got attacked, them accidentally speak in that moment because they're not even thinking about it, and that's the reason. I just was hard for me to buy where they saw what happened and she's still gonna say something like this could be the end for you, and it was the end for you. It was like if they don't talk, who knows what's gonna happen. But so that was one con for me. I just thought Zero was smart enough not to say that, just to be I don't like bananas. Like it was such a like you're just fucking everyone over just exclaiming about bananas. So just play game for like a little bit. But
I mean, on the other hand, though, like she also got like a really positive reception, right? Like in that courtroom, when she was like just dropping zingers, and everybody was loving her. And then that's when they go back, and Stevie, I think, was the female doctor, and she was like, "Oh, they loved you." Then that's what kind of leads them on doing like their world tour and like going shopping and everything. She was like standing up for women's rights, at that one meeting they had. So like
but
on
then
one
the liquor
hand,
made her talk a little too much. Then
yeah,
that.
no, yeah. Well, fuck, that was Buddy just entrapping her essentially.
Hey, smart play on by him though. He was smooth. He was like fucking James Bond with that cigarette recorder. Or that like I'm not saying he's a
Literally,
good guy, but I'm just saying like that's a fucking secret agent right there. He's not a doctor. That's
It's
James
funny,
Bond.
Too, just like 71, and like I would imagine they didn't know about like how bad it was to be like drinking with a baby or anything. And they're just like intoxicating her multiple times, even though she's pregnant.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where we're kind of starting or going, but I'll just kind of like add something to that. The idea of that guy, and I guess what you already spoke to, Travis, just civilization, if these apes came down, which I loved how they were introduced, and the military is like, what the fuck? Like, this is crazy. But
and at first I think they're humans too. I love that. Like they're just a build up. They have the helmets on. Like that's so like very fun build up to that moment.
Mm-hmm. I think that people in today's age responding to this negatively is very, 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 very likely. I also think too that
this would be the massive cryptid clues episode. Would this count as a cryptid episode? Would monkeys from outer space? But what is a cryptid? What's the definition of a cryptid?
Oh, well, it's just like a creature that has lack thereof scientific proof of existing, mostly. But then that
so monkeys from space would
aliens, aliens for sure. We're mixing in there. So monkeys from space, like
monkey aliens,
peak monkey aliens. But
monkey from aliens saying that from our future. Fuck man, that's a good episode.
Yeah, I'd have to stop the show after that,
in the wilderness.
In
the
wilderness.
In the middle of our 20-year battle with Russia.
Yeah. Fuck. So I think that it's hard to know, like, would be executing the apes be the solution or letting them stay alive be the solution? Like, no matter what, I think whatever would happen, humanity would screw themselves. And in this case, they did. They created their downfall. But the guy's dedication to trying to get humanity to turn against Zira and Cornelius was just crazy, because I think that there was a lot of, as negative as it was, the things that Zira was saying, there was some light in there where they reveal how the gorillas were and the orangutans were, and how they themselves are pacifists, and that holds up in their court case. That allows them to be kept, in a reasonable place of protection, I'd say. But they go further with that, because in the recordings they say like, yeah, we helped Taylor, we loved him, we protected him. Like there
not right away though. Remember they lied. That's their problem too. They got caught lying twice. They lie about Taylor because they asked, "Oh, what about never met him?" And they talk about like,
because Zira admits that in court that she knew him. I'm pretty sure, didn't she?
No,
it was
not the
Cornelius
first time.
that says no, and Cornelius says no, and right after Zira counters that with yes.
No, well, okay. Either way, if they didn't know him or did know him, they don't talk about the whole situation about the kid. Like they don't talk about all that, and then they also don't get when they say where are you from. They lie about that. So again, that's where the point of view of the humans. I would understand. They eventually tell you that the apes take over, and now you've had these people lie to you twice. I would see there be some worry of like, fuck, what if they are just gonna like slowly, like we've caught them in two lies. Like I would see the talking if they were, and that's what I like the movie, because if they were just completely good, then it's like, okay, why would you kill them? You know, like because even I forgot about the main scientist, but when he's talking to the president, and he's like, if you do this, you could change the future. Is that a power we should have? And I like that he's like, I don't know. He wasn't a villain where he's like, absolutely, we're humans, we should change. He wanted to kill the apes, but he also didn't know if that was the right thing to do, but just thought with his equation, this is what we should do, is take them out. But he said, I don't even know if we should be fucking with like time and stuff like that. So that's why I like all the issues are great, because they didn't have to lie about Taylor. I think the world ending stuff, they were smart about lying about Taylor. They could have just been like how else do they get the fucking ship? Like, yeah, we met him, we were friends with him. Like they
could have thought they'd be like, oh yeah, Taylor, we fucking hate that guy. Like,
yeah.
they might
He
have
kissed
damn
you?
dirty
No.
apes.
No, they'd be like, he kissed you. Actually, yeah, he would fuck her, wouldn't he? They should have told him that. They would know, oh yeah, that is Taylor, yeah.
I feel like that one didn't bother me though, because like it didn't seem like they had time to prep for like all the questions that could be answered, and because I think they get asked that, and then I think it's Cornelius like looks at Zira, and then they kind of are like,
they say some
and
lie.
They hesitate, and it's like, no, we didn't know it. So
yeah, and I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying that for me, it's not story wise. It just means like I'm saying from the human perspective of, because clearly the fucking world over there loves Taylor for some reason. He's the top shit. So I'm just I think for me, I'm happy with it in the story. I like that they lie, but as a human, I'd be like, you know, and then they didn't even mention that they like lobotomized the other astronaut. Like there'd be some concern there. Is what I'm saying. If like that's twice now, two big things you've lied. You lied about the leading astronaut, and now you've lied about where you're from. Like what else are they fucking lying about? You know?
Yeah, I guess I understand like the skepticism from the humans, especially just when they get led down the lines of like the humans are just basically the apes of the future, and the apes are running the show. So. You know, from like a humanist or whatever the fuck you would call that, like a pro-human person, you're like, wow, where did they screw up to where we weren't around anymore? We were the ones in cages. I can understand the concern there, I guess. There's, especially like the dissect line. I just couldn't help but laugh in that moment, because like they have them down, and he's like, replay the last 2 seconds, like. It's like dissect. It's like finish the word, ape. Finish the word. It's like we know what the fucking word is, you idiot. It's dissection. Like clearly, and like I get it. Maybe they're trying to do like the strong arm like lawyer thing, like trying to get them to say it in their own words. But it was just such a funny moment, because they're just like repeating, and the fucking CIA guy just over Zira like finish the word, ape. Finish the word. It's like.
Sounds like I have the hiccups.
I think good one-liner from her there, but that was just such a humorous moment for me, and even just that whole, I guess, argument of like trying to put them in this like evil category of you were dissecting humans, but like they've already fucking established that the humans were basically just dummies. They're apes. They were Neanderthal type characters
to prove this, right?
Yeah,
but like,
fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right? That's the thing, because they're getting caught in these lies. That's what are you supposed to believe?
Right. But like,
and they're
from the
monkey,
scientific point of view,
space.
like the humans are so hypocritical in the moment, because like. They're probably lobotomizing apes in those moments, or like just, you know, like all the terrible like animals in captivity, like just tests on animals. Like that's the exact same thing. So like for me, it was just, if they had explained that the humans were in that stage, and they were just going about science in that aspect of like studying them, like that's no different than what was going on there. So I think for me, it was just a little bit frustrating of, oh my God, this is so barbaric that you would treat them in that way. It's like, dude, you probably have the exact same thing going on in your own labs.
But don't you think like I feel like that's still us today. You know, like we talk about, and that's where it's like, unfortunately, the movie's still like current, and that's where it's like, to me, that's where it all fits for me, because like all these movies that they do make sense. Like, oh, they'd still do the same shit today. You know,
that's what makes it live on. Like it's like a timeless concept, and just that whole ideal. But it's more so just the camp that the humans were in. It's like, I cannot believe how barbaric you'd be to try and splice and like study humans. Like, oh my God, that's so disgusting. Like we do that about humans. You know, we just watched Poor Things last night. There's people like fucking Willem Dafoe doing
it. I don't think anyone's doing that yet. I don't think Bella's condition that's happened yet. But you never know. Science is a crazy thing. We'll have to find new ways after our war with Russia.
That's gonna be what we're looking like.
Yeah.
Really burping out of that.
So I think the other thing you have to take into account too is, and because it's going retroactively backwards, well, all animals have that level of intelligence to their degree. I think human beings have that law of like sentience. I think it is the word I'm trying to think of. Where, and I think
You're like
apes
aware
obviously,
that you're aware.
yeah,
conscience is
exactly. And I think
conscious.
when you hit that, then you enter into a whole new level of like human law and classification
that's
as to
fair.
what your rights are and everything. And so I think that's where Zira and Cornelius have entered into this regard. But then you also have to think, and this sounds very negative because I don't believe in human or experimentation and like torturing of animals of any kind. I just think it's horrible. But then in this state and then this film, you have humans that are doing it to the animals because these animals haven't hit that sentience kind of like tier yet. And so when you have retroactively apes coming back, and it kerfuddles things because humans have achieved that sentience, but now this is humanity's extinction that they're dealing with, and they're being experimented on like humans of today experiment on apes.
It's a lot to take
they're
in
being-
to know
it
your
is, they're-
race is going to shit and these
Well,
monkeys are.
That's just it.
overtaking.
Your race is going to be extinct, but then humans have already achieved this level of sentience, but they're being lobotomized and experimented on, as in the same way humans experiment on apes today, but apes haven't hit that degree of sentience that humans classify them at. So there's
That's
that
true.
separator, I guess.
Because the humans could be like, hey, the first few weeks here, we're getting you new clothes. You're talking to everybody. We hear you in your first few weeks, you lobotomized one of our astronauts, right?
Yeah.
So, like, there is an argument they could make, like, you sound more savage than us. So, right away, the humans would be on the back foot of, like, what the fuck? And that's different because, like, I guess it does make it show that the apes government at that point, and then when they get to our human government is more understanding than what the apes are at that current state, right? Because that was their idea, to kill humans, lobotomize them, like get rid of them. Where here they were, let's gonna talk and everything. So that would be another wrinkle of humans maybe being like, yeah, we gotta fucking kill these apes because they lobotomized one of our people the second they got, like, they took away, where we didn't do that to them, right? They wouldn't have done anything because the whole world's in love with them until the guy got that info about the war and the extinction and stuff. So, like, we technically treated them better, but at the same time, it doesn't end well for the humans because
you don't get that reassurance either when they say like, "Oh, ape doesn't kill ape," and the human's like, "Well, how does it leave us?" Like,
yeah, Cornelius thought he like had the fucking full house when he said that. He's like, "Well, we don't kill each other." It's just like, yeah, then there's only one person left to kill, motherfucker. Like, what are you but that's where also I think in a good way, them being scientists, they kind of come off sometimes like they feel smarter than everyone else, and I think that hurts them at times. And like I said, I'm saying as a positive for the film because they just don't have the self-aware to be like, yeah, don't mention the ape don't kill ape thing. Like that's not the win card here. Like that's not going to get you anywhere. They're like, cool, and they were trying to say that as like, we could never do what you do with wars, but it's like, yeah, but you do that with humans and stuff. So it's all interesting.
They do scratch the surface on it, but I kind of wish they went into further detail and just kind of how their society was structured too. Because like, although the humans were a lot more open and receptive to, like I guess the apes landing there, and we just have these self-aware apes they come from like a fully fledged society, but they don't ever explain that like, in this where they land, it's like a democracy, and it's like there's a lot more open public dialogue, I guess.
President.
No, and like it was almost like a dictatorship, right? Like it was very religious tied to the way that their government was ran with the orangutans, a very like classist type society, which I guess humans have had in their time, but like
absolutely
where the apes landed is just a lot more open, and especially just when the news articles were like getting aware of it, like people were just fascinated by it more so than terrified than like where the apes were. So personally, like I wish they just kind of dove a little bit deeper into comparing that, but you kind of get a different outlook of the story. Like you don't really have, I guess, the main bad doctor like trying to bait Zyra into just getting more information on dissecting humans, and then that's kind of what leads them to go to that secret military base.
Let me ask you this. Do you think we get a different result in the first Planet of the Apes if that ship lands in the water and Taylor and the other pilots all come out to the apes on the beach the same way that they just did this introduction, as opposed to Taylor and co being jumped and having their rags, and that's their introduction to the apes?
I
Does that make
think
sense?
I don't think so because I think the problem is with society and the humans. Apes are still at zoos. They're looked at as like animals, like creatures. Like not that you could like hang on pet, but like they're things you could go look at and everything. Like there's not slave apes. Where in the apes, they're taught to be scared. Like remember when Taylor enters that city? It's like fucking Monsters Inc. with Boo. Like some of the apes are fucking scared. Like they're like running away from. So I think that's the problem is with the apes world. They've painted humans out to be the boogeyman. Where in our world, apes are just another animal among a bunch of different animals, right? So I think that's where if they landed, they would have. It still would have been fear. Maybe there's a chance that if they land, there's 4 of them. They all are friendly. Then maybe it goes a little different. Everyone knows right away. But I still think the results probably not good.
Yeah, I don't think it's positive. And again, I think that ties to just how the society is structured because you have the people in charge, like the orangutans, who know about like the history of humans, right? Like that one, forget his name, Dr. Zaius or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, only a few of them do. Remember, it's like hush hush.
But like still, like someone at the
Yes.
hierarchy knows about this, so they're kind of like suppressing, I guess, that information from their people, and just for control, I would imagine. Whereas, so I agree with Travis. I think it would probably not go well.
That'd be a fun what if though to see
Yeah,
like what would
what
happen. And also too, like I've never seen the show. I might check out the show because I work from home after we're done this just to see. We're not gonna retro it, don't worry. But like in today's day and age, I've always said like, hey, don't remake Taylor going to Planet of the Apes. Like don't remake any of that. But I feel like this show or this movie, like that, like the concept we're talking about go deeper. This would be the one that I wish they adapted into a show. One actually would have been cheaper for them because they could have put the apes like in a world. But I feel like if you could have 6 to 8 episodes, 8 to 10 even of like exploring all the politics, like I think there's actually some good stuff there, you know. And I'm not sure if we'd ever get that now because I think in order to get that they'd have to remake the original. I wouldn't, but I feel like there's lots of concept that you could really stretch out more than just an hour and a half, you know, because it's like there are all these areas of areas of great, especially today. So I hope if they ever do a show, do like the reverse. The apes land back here, and like, what would we do? Especially in like 2023, 24, what the fuck would happen? You know, Justin Trudeau, Donald Trump meeting in 2026. These apes just fucking land down. Like, what's going on? You know,
We got this war with Russia to deal with.
they war with Russia. Are the apes with us? They with Russia? What do we do?
Fuck.
Or they know they land with Putin and he like uses them.
Did you guys find it weird? I feel like they retconned a little of this because they asked more about the history, and Cornelius goes into depth, like, oh, it says in the Sacred Scrolls that there was the one ape who said no, and I was like, well, didn't they not talk about this? Like they were.
Did you not hear me in
humans?
my opening? Remember, you must have missed that. I said that.
No.
No. Yeah, they definitely change the story of the apes and uprising. My headcanon is just that maybe they found out through more like looking into it, like in between movies. But yeah,
Right.
they definitely changed the origins of humans and apes. They didn't mention anything about there being dumb monkeys and like slaves and everything. That's all new stuff.
And the plague too that kills like dogs and cats.
Yes.
That's very, very new. Yeah. So
Yeah, which I like. They use that in the new films, like with the Matt Reeves and when they bring that up. But yeah, they definitely did some
Wasn't the Matt
retconning.
Reeves one? Oh my god.
Well, Matt
Can't wait
Reeves
to
and
revisit this.
who's the other guy that did it? Shit, I always forget his name.
Burton?
No. Matt Reeves didn't do all 3 of the new ones. He did the last 2. There's Rupert Wyatt. Rupert Wyatt did the first one, and they do the plague in there. They talk about because remember there's those headlines of like there's a sickness going around or something. So I like that they use it for the future, but they definitely changed it here. But I guess I'm okay with it, especially because this one. I don't know if I put in the trivia, but they had much more of an idea that they were going to do a 4th one right away. So it wasn't. So I feel like they were like, well, let's retcon some stuff so we can set up the like monkeys being slaves and everything. So I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Like I said, I just headcanon that after Taylor left, Zero and Cornelius like found some more stuff to go, oh, they've been lying even further, right? Because the more you learn about the lie, you'd probably be like, hey, there has to be more out there in the forbidden zone, right? Not talking about the fucking mutant people, like in general. So like the subways, like, so that's why I headcanon that they found more stuff to show, oh, everything's a lie that happened. But it's definitely, they're fudging the numbers in this movie a little bit in the origin.
My headcanon, there's no mutant people.
Yeah,
Beneath the
that's my
planet.
head canon. My like really you don't because the planet just blows up. You could, and I probably mostly in the future, you can just watch one and then just really go to this. You know, like there's a
Yeah.
little because they don't even talk about the fucking other astronaut. We've forgotten his name. Do we even still have the picture of him?
Of course we do. Come on.
Yeah, it's in
Do
there.
we? Okay,
Super
good.
Charlton.
Yeah,
Yeah, look at
him. Yeah, that's why they sent him. They want everyone to have that fucking size, man. Look at those hands. Look at Charles' hands, man. Fuck when he's spanking ladies. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2 cheeks with 1 clap.
Oh yes.
Come here, Nova.
Now bring me your monkey lady. God. What do we
Me
want
too.
to talk about next? Talk about the doctor, which I kind of like that he.
Which one? The good
like
doctor, the bad one?
the mean
Psychiatrist.
doctor.
Dr.
Oh, the
Otto.
mean one.
Yeah,
Otto
I
has
can't remember
or
his
something
name.
like that.
He has some fucking name. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I kind of like too that he was like the bad guy, but it wasn't like an immediate, like he wasn't like a comic book bad guy where we know he's bad. It's like he seems suspicious, and I liked for a solid 20 minutes of the movie, it just seems like he's with the apes, and then he just busts out that recorder. You're like, oh fuck, he's not with us. But I like that they shrouded his motivation. It wasn't just I'm gonna get those fucking apes whatever happens, you know, like it was like,
Yeah.
okay, he's been convinced and he's with us, and then it's like, oh shit, no, he's working behind the scenes. And again, it's not like he had suspicions and he wasn't wrong. His suspicions were these apes weren't telling us everything, and they weren't telling him everything.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm not saying they had to jump to what they did to, but he'd caught like some sort of bullshit, and probably, you know, that Kirkland's favorite dissect line was definitely something that was. So that's what I liked again, where he's not the greatest, but I like that he wasn't maybe mustache twirly, which they could have done in my opinion right away. Like they gave him some
Yeah.
motivation to be, because I don't know, your race is going to be destroyed. So.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it gets to the point that it feels kind of twirly mustache.
Near the end, I think
villain.
for sure. When he's around the boat with a gun and everything, it's a little too far.
He's like on his own, like
Yeah.
fucking spy versus spy type situation, and like that was a
Man
little
versus
cheese
ape.
ball. That was a little
Yeah.
cheese ball. For
I can
me.
agree on that. Yeah.
It did work for the most part. That he seemed like just the one that he kind of put it upon himself. That like he has to be the last line of defense, because even when he is calling the president or something to like get an update on something, and he kind of like pushes back against him. He's like, no, this is an order that you have to do this, and he kind of goes around. I totally am gonna butcher the line if I try
Well,
and paraphrase
and
it,
it's
but-
also in line with that too when they, which another thing Cornelius just fucking like to me lies about. So they have that moment where the guy at the end, they want to get Zira whatever docked out so they can do just the abortion, pretty much, just plain
Yeah.
and simple, right? And Cornelius snuffs that out. He accidentally kills the handler guy, and so that doctor says they want to shoot him on sight, and even the president goes, "No, like we
Yes.
gotta, yeah,
That's
we
the
have to
line.
prove it's like it's innocent till proven guilty, pretty much, right?" He's he's explaining like it doesn't matter. There's a code of conduct here we have to follow. I did not appreciate later on where, for quote, Cornelius said, "I'm not responsible for his death." Yeah, you still were, because at first when they bump into the human doctors, he goes, "Oh, I didn't mean to kill him. He was just like," he said he was teasing Zero, which again I was like, weird way to explain it, but fine.
You
But
got a
then-
baby in the belly, eh? And then you
Yeah.
just, oh yeah,
yeah,
smashed
but
his
then
head.
so he goes from "I didn't mean to" 20 minutes later he says that line of "I'm not responsible for his death." Even if it's an accident, Cornelius, you still fucking killed the dude. So I love, like, I wish they kind of didn't do that in the movie. Like they're trying to explain like, oh, like they're framing him for killing the humans. Like he still killed the fucking human, and Cornelius is slowly like, "Oh yeah, but did I though?" Like he was making fun of us.
I
you
wanted
know?
like a more weight too. Like I don't have an issue with him
Yes.
killing him if they find out that like, yeah, they're trying to kill your baby and like
Yes.
this is gonna happen. So
Absolutely,
then he's like,
yeah.
hey, we got to get the fuck out of here. Let's kill this. You know, like you don't have
It's
to
life
show
or
him-
death if we don't kill this guy. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
I agree.
It was like he literally just wrote it off that he was teasing Zira, and then that just forced him to smash him, and then
Yeah.
we're gonna sneak out of here. Like that was a little eye rolly there, and it seemed kind of out of character even for Cornelius. Like I get it if it is a life or death situation, but it wasn't at that point yet, and it's not like he showed like a tendency for like aggression or anything in the other films. Like
Yeah.
he seems pretty passive actually.
And the handler
especially
wasn't
the first
forcing
one.
himself either. He didn't have like a needle coming at them. He was just
Yeah.
still trying to talk them into it. So I agree with you where it's like you could do that, just make the like we were talking about with Mad Max, right? Where it's like we have some issues, but the suspense of what happens at you needed some of that there for me to buy Cornelius just taking this dude out. And again, he didn't seem to really care either. It's like, well, fuck, whatever. Like he didn't have much sympathy later on, which I get it because they were trying to take him and Zero.
You're no Taylor.
Yeah, terrible hiding spot. They're literally just hiding like 5 feet
That
from the
was so
gate.
funny, yeah.
like I can't remember the human doctor, the lady, very
Stevie.
good looking lady. Yeah, Stevie. Like she got it going on. She like talks to the guards like, "Hey, if you see anything, let us know." They go back to their base, and 2 seconds later, Cornelius is like, "Hey." It's like, get back there, fuck. And he's just like, Zero's over there resting. It's like, what the fuck? Like, how far did you guys get? Like, and I get it because they're trying to try to intercept the doctors, but just was like, the timing of it all just felt so funny. Of like, you guys did not search these grounds at all, guards. Like, they're fucking right there. But, tis his life.
This is life.
Yeah. Do we have any other specific notes or questions to bring up right now? I'm looking through mine right now.
I really actually like the opening of just like the ship in the water, and then all the military people going there, and then you just they like open up the hatch, and then like the 3 space individuals pop out. I guess I just forgot that it could have been apes. I don't know what the hell was going on in my head there, but when they popped off the
Who
helmets,
did you think it was? You're like, Taylor?
fucking Taylor, yeah, Taylor and the homies are
He
back.
survived the nuclear explosion. It's him, the other guy, and Nova.
I think I was literally just still trying to like wrap my head around the fact that like this is Earth in the 70s,
Yeah.
and like what was going on. Like I really just I don't know didn't put two and two together. So it is just a cool little reaction though from the humans there, I guess, and they popped the helmets off, and I did really like that the apes didn't say anything for a little bit there, and then of course they put them in the zoo. And I mean, this is like the exact same thing that was going on in the first film too, because they have a zoo for humans that they were calling it. So it was just a good opening overall.
The beach looked very similar to the Statue of Liberty beach. And apparently that's a
Yes.
very, like a well-used beach from other films too.
Oh really?
I don't know if it is the same beach in this
Saving
case.
Private Ryan.
I couldn't figure it out, but yeah.
Only one beach in Hollywood, baby. That's the one. Yeah, and I guess we should talk about too, where we talked about a bit overall, but yeah, man, what a dark ending, because they they decide that okay, this is no longer good, not a good situation. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Why was the bad doctor like hiding from the cops did I miss something there? Because he's hunting down Zira and Cornelius on his own, and then like the helicopter arrives and the police arrive, and he's like hiding on the ship, and he's like, did you guys catch?
Would the cops be like on Team Ape at this point?
No, near the end of the film, because they are. They could have murdered a guy. They're like, they'd be up for trial, so they're a suspect. That's what they would be. I think because the president told him like, don't be out. Like the president said, we'll handle this, and the doctor's like, fuck that, I'm gonna do it myself. So I think there would have been some sort of. I think that's why they also killed that character off, but which I did not know because he looked so young. This guy that played Dr. Otto Hassan, Eric Braden, he's been a part of, which one is it? A soap opera that my mom has watched for decades. Young and the Restless. He plays Victor Newman. He's like one of the most
4,093 episodes.
Yeah.
He's Victor Newman. Are you?
Yeah,
kidding?
1982. That's yeah. He's like the guy in Young and the Restless. I did not even put 2 and 2 together. Good looking guy was back. He's always been a good looking guy, but like that's crazy that was him. I didn't even think about it, but then when I saw his credits, like fucking yeah, he's fucking Newman. You even know who
Holy
Newman is,
Christ.
too. I'm surprised.
Oh yeah, my mom was big on Young and the Restless.
Young and the Restless, man. Yeah.
I can't believe that episode count. 4,093
That's a good
episodes from
portfolio.
1980 to 2024.
You do gotta think though that they do 5. It's daily soap operas. Remember.
What a business, eh?
Because I
That's
took
just
my
crazy.
time a couple of years ago when Franco, of course, James Franco went to General Hospital. I was a big Franco fan, so I watched it, and that got me hooked for General Hospital for a while. And yeah, it's a tough thing to keep up watching because it's 5 days a week, but usually what happened is you could figure out that you really just have to watch the Monday and Friday episodes because those are the cliffhanger and the answers, and the weekday is kind of like mostly filler, but the Friday
Makes
and Monday
sense if they
episodes
do
were
it that way.
Yeah, but they were banger episodes, especially the Friday cliffhangers. Like, fuck, can't wait till Monday. Why does Steve have amnesia? What happened to him? Fuck, man.
Kirkland, Coronation Street. Have you heard of that one?
Yep.
Oh yeah,
That one's got 11,177
Holy
episodes.
moly.
my that was
We're
always
doing those
on my
retros, boys.
Oh, okay. If anyone, we'd have to make an amount. If anyone gives us like 10,000, if some big company buys us, we will review.
$350,000 budget for our movie. We'll,
Yeah.
maybe do a season.
But my grandma was always spanning Coronation Street all the time. It's like whenever I came over, just always on. But so yeah, their plan is okay. They've gone to the zoo. They meet fucking Ricardo Montalban, or however you say his name, who's just like Montalban.
What a badass. I love that character. I feel like I was waiting for like the villain turn just because he seemed
yeah.
a little bit sus, but like he is so like genuinely on the side of the apes,
Yeah.
and he just was so charismatic when he was talking to his other circus people. I feel like I just see circuses in a dark lens, that I was expecting something dark to come of it, but he was just
Pinocchio.
so loyal.
Oh, Ricardo Montalban, I fucking love this guy. He was the original Khan. He was Fantasy Island. He just has such a fucking... This man, I guarantee you, fucked thousands of women.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
This guy's charisma, like, it's just there. Like, and it's always... He always has this in all these projects. He just has, like, just this je ne sais quoi. He's fucking so good. And I'm excited because he comes back in the next one. So it's like a good...
Oh,
like,
nice.
it's really fun. I'm pretty... Maybe I'm speaking out of my ass. I'm pretty sure he's in Conquest. I thought he was, but as I'm getting Kirkland excited, it's just been a while. Hang on, I'll pull up. But
Yeah, he's in
yeah.
Conquest.
Okay,
He's in
good.
Conquest.
Yeah, because I think it's their son grown up. But yeah, so the idea is they're going to go to the zoo. They're going to take the monkey because the baby monkey, is not talking yet. So it's like, well, we can stash it there, but can't stash you guys. So they are going to hide out this boat for like a couple days. Like I said, fucking Cornelius has to take a leak, but man, he's just taking the wrong path in that boat. Fucking Victor Newman sees him. Big shootout. He shoots Zira first, and then Cornelius shoots him. Cornelius, great fucking shot, man. Like he's from the he hasn't shot a gun, but he got that. And then Victor, before he died, shot the baby like 3 times, and then fucking. It's like, even though it's a dummy ape, it's just really dark when like Zira just takes the ape and throws it off the boat, and you see that like it's probably the darkest thing that's happened so far in this trilogy. It's just like it's dark and it's just fucking super depressing. And again, also that one gorilla just lost her baby, had no say in the matter, and then so they're dead. The doctor's dead, but then they show the baby at the end already saying mama. They have a weird clip of just showing the clip over and over again. Like, I'm not sure if you noticed that when it says mama, they just put on A-B repeat because he's like, oh mama, mama.
I thought I was watching
mama.
Barbarian for a second.
Yeah, yeah. So, and yeah, that's Ricardo's gonna take the baby on his own.
Speaking of Ricardo, I had to pull up his IMDb. He has done so much in his day. Iconically, the grandfather from Spy Kids 3.
Right, he's in there. Yeah. Kidding me? Fuck, I forgot.
He's done like a lot of animated voice too. Like he was
his
in
voice, yeah.
like Kim Possible is one of those characters. Like just a bunch of random Disney pairings. This guy's a legend. I can't believe he was the grandfather though from Spy Kids 2 and 3.
That's funny. But yeah, what do you guys think about this ending?
It was very chaotic, and I was waiting for like the reveal of like, even when he shoots the baby, like I had already said, like I just expected it to be like a dummy or something, or like a bag of flour. Like it just seemed way too dark, especially when he unloaded like 3 shots.
Yeah,
and then it goes
dead.
Yeah, and then it goes to like when it leads up to it. It was just so funny because he's facing down Zira like just right at gunpoint. She's holding the baby, and he's like, if you turn around, I'm gonna shoot you. And she just like turns around, and he just fucking does what he says. He shoots her right in the back.
Yeah. She thought she could outrun him, I guess.
She's like, oh yeah, what are you gonna do, shoot me? And then she just turns around and gets shot. And then yeah,
I guess from their perspective, they just think because he's a doctor as well that they maybe wouldn't do that. So she was calling his bluff, but this guy, he will fucking do it. Yeah. God.
The gunfight was kind of like dated, I guess. It seemed
clunky.
corny. It seemed corny. Like even when Cornelius gets shot, I like didn't even realize that he got shot because he's just like, then it just gets stiff and then kind of falls over. But yeah, it was very dark ending. I feel like I was just not really loving it because I was expecting something to happen and it didn't. And what I didn't expect to happen that did happen wasn't that satisfying. It's not like the bad guy kind of got what was coming to him. He's just dead. We see just a floating baby gorilla in the water. It's very depressing.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of confusing because, like I already said, I wasn't sure why Buddy was hiding from the cops. And then there's like the army people that are shooting at the apes. Like I don't even know who killed Cornelius because there's like army guys as well as police officer, and it seemed like they're kind of counter. Like it was just kind of clunky in my opinion for an ending. I really love the set piece though, like that ship and just the overall pier, I guess, that they're at. Like, man, if only we had one of those in Kelowna, we could shoot some sweet films in those types of settings.
You ready that,
Big
Taylor?
baby gorilla. Throw
You,
it
re-
overboard.
you ready to get in trouble? We're gonna go find a boat. We're gonna be sneaking on that the whole time. You're like, fuck, guys, we're on this boat.
I might know where one is not nearby.
Perfect. There was. I thought about the one time we were trying to Bear Creek, or I think it's Bear Creek, the campsite up there, right, west side. There's like around there. Have you ever seen there's like a houseboat that's always just anchored out there? I'm like, there's people not always there. I'm like, of course we'd never do such a thing. But I was like, sometime. But yeah, to make sure we'll talk to it. We gotta work a boat into one of our next projects. Then I'd be down to go on a boat. So.
I got a dinghy.
It's a drive.
Use.
It's
A
dry.
dinghy.
Well, that, and then I feel like isn't there still, I don't know if they took it down, but wasn't there somewhere and like on the way from here to Penticton, like some abandoned like mental home or something like that, like a.
I'm
There
good.
was.
What'd you say, Kirkland?
I said, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
That sounds scary.
Could be a
A little
good
too
set
real.
though, Kirkland.
I read that there's like an abandoned like ferry boat out on the west coast somewhere. One of
You
those
can only
big like
see it at
board-on
midnight
ones.
when the
yeah.
moon is full.
Yeah.
Well, let's find it. Taylor, thoughts on the ending?
Yeah, it's not perfect. It definitely just steers down the direction of like, hey, we're setting something up here.
Yeah.
Overall, but it definitely comes to like a proper closure. Not a proper closure. It comes to a closure of just this arc of Cornelius and Zira, just their story here, and it doesn't feel great. Like you don't feel very satisfied after getting to this ending. And for me, I feel like most of this film I really was jiving with. I really liked it, but yeah, just the way that it ends here. If we didn't get a follow-up to this movie, it would have really brought my overall down for this film. But because it continues on that narrative and this sets up like the next two films to a degree, mostly just the next one.
Conquest gets wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. So I definitely would say that I would put the ending a little bit higher in that regard, even though it was a little bit messy. It was a little bit rushed. I feel like just to tackle this kind of a story, it could have been like two films, just the setup. Like, but I'm okay with the fact that they ended it with the baby. That's it, and it creates an interesting narrative with this baby's just in hiding. But we'll get into that in the next film. So, yeah.
I have my notes. I wonder what that fucking. Because they use a real baby chimpanzee. I wonder what the fuck that chimpanzee was thinking when it's being held by actors that like have this monkey makeup, but they're not monkeys. Like, I just like, what was the psychology of this ape after? They must have just been fucked up, I feel. But the other thing I have to
been
put,
in a lot of movies too. That
Yeah,
ape,
probably.
like the Hollywood apes.
yeah. Also, I forgot to mention too that the reason they have a gun is not even to fight back. Cornelius just asked for a gun that. So if we have the chance, so we can kill ourselves. That's like their method was not. Because I don't think Cornelius was doing a fight back. I think he just shot the doctor because he killed Zira. So like out of rage he did it. But like their go-to plan was if they get found, they're just gonna kill themselves and the baby. It was like fuck, man, this is dark shit here for this movie. And Cornelius just said like matter of fact. And then the doctor's like, I thought you might ask that. Like, and then he just had a gun with him. I was like, that's what you thought.
Way
the
ahead
monkeys
of you,
are gonna-
buddy. Here we
Yeah.
go. There's two in the
Fully
chamber.
support.
I thought you might kill yourself. Like, it was just odd, but the fun line too. And she's like, "You're the only second person I've kissed," and Cornelius just walks over like, "And you're the first." Like some fun back and forth there. So I like those characters. I don't have much to say on them, but I like them as just like the general good guys. I don't think in the same way Planet Apes, I don't like them as much as Zero and Cornelius. I don't think they had as much personality as them, but they worked. So, and like I said,
It's kind of funny that they had to have like a male and female doctor, just
Yeah.
how Cornelius and Zero were. They weren't. I guess they were smooching. Actually, that was a hilarious moment. And then she's like,
Yeah.
"You'll be the second human." I laid my lips on, and then fucking Cornelius has been eyeballing Zero all movie. Oh yeah, you'll be the first. Grabs her ass. No, that didn't happen. But
And then the last one I had was fuck that gorilla there in the cage with, and a couple other monkeys here were looking rough. The people in the costumes when they weren't the makeup ones, like it's tough
They're
because
awful.
like yeah, you can't get a real monkey, and then you can't also have them have makeup because it'll just look different. But like that one that kills Milo, like this is fucking Party City costume here.
And just,
But
they have him like in the cops chained up.
he's
Sliding
sedated, he's
cage.
fine, and he just killed their friend. Like fuck, man. Oh jeez, but yeah, what a way to go! You're just hanging out, and just this grill gets you. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Excuse me. The film's villain, Dr. Henson, is actually briefly mentioned in the beginning of Planet of the Apes and Beneath Planet of the Apes. So I didn't know, but I guess they name dropped him in the other films before. So it must have been like the
Oh.
other astronauts. So that's cool. Yeah, with Beneath of the Planet of the Apes doing so well at the box office, producer Arthur P. Jacobs sent a telegram to the writer of Paul Den 4 months after the film's release, simply said, "Apes exist, sequel required." So again, we talked about it where this was where Fox was having some struggles. Obviously, they had struggles there and got bought out, but that's why they did this. And then there was more of a plan to have like, we're probably going to do a fourth just because they were banking on stuff that was making them money, right? So one of the earliest scripts has the three aponauts viewing the dying Earth from their space capsule before going back in time. This scene was actually shot but not completed. No FX are on it. So there is a scene of them on the ship watching Earth exploding, but no FX at all. So it's just them.
You think there's like another monkey in the ship just dead because their life support system died? Like the,
Yeah.
the female there. I like how they
Science.
use the term like
Science.
aponaut, but
Yeah.
like really, like what's astronaut? Like it's not really a human like dictation from that, eh? Like it's just astro
Yeah.
nautical explorer, but I mean, nice,
You got
nice
it.
fun play on word.
I already explained about the poor guy. Yeah, Sal Manoa. That was the guy that unfortunately was murdered on age 37 in 1976. So shout out to
Sad.
Milo. Yeah, that sucks, man. Let's see. Zira's first.
Sucks, man.
Sorry
Sorry if you listen to this.
Yeah, that just does. It's just a bummer, It's like that would be like
bummer.
that's telling me like, hey, you got 7 years left. Like, get ready. It's like fuck, man. Like, still got stuff to do. Zira's first line in the presence of humans, because I loathe bananas, is a reference to Kim Hunter's real distaste for the fruit, which originated from filming Planet of the Apes. The actors portraying the apes were required to keep their makeup on during breaks in order to save time, so the rest of the crew often called them monkeys and offered them bananas to mock them. So that was inspiration that she just fucking hates bananas. So
What a
there you go.
toxic working environment. Look at the fucking monkeys.
You want a banana?
losers.
Yeah. Fuck,
As they're
man.
making like fucking 50th of the wage of the main actresses, I'm sure. The
Yeah.
crew people.
And then for the death scene, Cornelius and Zero were originally going to be ripped apart by a pack of Doberman dogs.
Glad they didn't go that route.
The feared dog from that decade, led by Dr. Hasten. But the producers thought the scene would be too gruesome, so they were killed by gunshots instead. I think that was the right call, because it's already a dark enough ending, and just like Cornelius and Zero just getting fucking ripped apart by dogs. And I would assume the baby as well, because the baby had to die, right? So it's just like...
Yep.
Fuck, man. I mean, that dogs, too. Same thing. They noticed all these walking monkeys. Just a bad situation overall. So I think clunkiness, but I think the gunshot was the way to go. And I also like Cornelius getting the kill on Hasten. Like, it's like a good, like, I don't know, some comeuppance for that character. So... Yeah, final thoughts. I'll go first. Like I said, really enjoy this movie. There's some concepts in here that are really pushing the envelope. There's some things, like I said, maybe this one could have been, this hour and a half I could have seen this stretching out to 2 hours, and you hit some other things. But overall, really good. I'm excited to see when we get to Kingdom and we do our rankings, because I don't know where it would be, because I got a couple other ones that there's some really good films coming up. But yeah, I'm gonna give this one a 8 out of 10. It's I always remember it as a high spot, because people always go, oh, in the first one there's nothing good, and I go, no, like Conquest is really good. Escapes, I always said, like, was pretty good, but really when they talk about like how much they dive into the dynamics of the apes and the future and the war and the humans, like they do it more than I remember. I remember that. I just remember as they land on Earth and humans want to kill them, but there was much more thought given to it. So I'm going to go an 8 out of 10. Mr. Patzer?
Right on. Yeah, I'm gonna go 7.5 on this one. I think the ending was a little bit clunky for me, and I don't know. Maybe on another viewing too, I might be a little bit more positive, just because I kind of know how it went. But I really like just the overall interactions amongst the apes and humans in this, and of course the paralleling of the first film. There's just some in my opinion, some mustache twirliness with our main villain
Yeah.
and that dissect line. Like, it just seemed like they're beating a dead fish over with that one, and the effect that they were trying to get from the viewer is not how I took it at all. I found it pretty funny, and I just wanted a little bit more, I think, from them. I don't know, I guess defending themselves for their scientific ways back on the ape land versus the human land. So for me, that didn't sit too well, but I definitely a nice step up from that last film. It definitely feels like a nice successor to the first film, and just like growing upon it, like especially that we have these same characters from that original. I guess this is goodbye to all of the original cast members, I would imagine, going forward. Hey, like
No.
oh no.
Roddy McDowell comes back to play the baby ape.
Oh wow, that's interesting. I do
Yeah.
like him in the role, so I'm
Yeah.
curious how that performance will go.
Yeah,
Kinda
so
gets
yeah,
me
he,
excited.
he comes back in the next two. He's the same ape. So it's
Conquest is the next one, right?
Conquest, yeah, and then we have Battle. But yeah, so he's back for both. She's not Kim Hunter, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go an 8 out of 10. I really do like this one. I like how we get things kind of switched around and switched over between the storyline, even though it is that parallel change of perspective from that first film. And I really like how it brings in the time travel some more, and it just changes things up. And I think that they are able to explore more than what you think that they could tackle already. I mean, it's a very like straightforward narrative, I'd say, with when you're dealing with the racism and what they're trying to portray in that first Apes film. But they do such a good job at building up more and more from this narrative and expanding on it and going further into how humans act and further into how the apes act. And just, you have to remember that the apes are just a reflection of certain very negative things that humanity is, and they explore that even more in the next Apes trilogy. So I like that they touch upon that here, and it's just a wacky time. They tackle some really cool things, and just to see like our characters that we're familiar with and this change of setting is just super wild. And so I definitely like to revisit this one every so often. So it's definitely one of my more favorite ones of this whole arc of 5 films for this series. But yeah, 8 out of 10 is where I'm gonna go with it.
There we go. Well, like we said, we'll be back very soon with Conquest. How is it? For the Planet of the Apes or of the Planet? What is it actually? What is the title?
Conquest for the Planet of the Apes, that'd be
For
my
the-
guess.
For the Planet. Let's see. Roddy McDowell. Let's click on it here. Because I don't think they got the of problem. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Oh, nope. So
Oh.
they're doing the of the. They started the of the. Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
I don't really like that language. I like for. They're conquesting for
Yeah.
but I don't know, conquest of the planet.
Kingdom 4. The Planet of the Apes.
I'm gonna think about that now for the rest of the day.
Think about how it could be better.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be back to talk about Conquest very soon. Thank you very much for tuning in. And when you hear from us next, it will not be boring.
Bye.